Yeah, anyways, I was just talking about how I like to listen to my voice, so I don't want to.
That's the real reason we started this podcast, is just so Noah could mute us when he's recording and listen to his own
Mm.
voice.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind it. I feel like I used to hate listening to my own voice, but now, puts me to sleep.
I don't mind it either. Like you see, puts you to
Yeah, it
sleep.
puts me to sleep. I like it.
Well, yeah, your voice puts people to sleep. Duh.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, it's fine.
That's some real psychopath type of stuff. You just listen to your own voice
I
as you're
love
falling
my
asleep.
own voice. It puts me to sleep.
Oh my
I
goodness.
like it.
And it'll put you to sleep too, little Timmy.
Welcome to the Dilemma Dudes podcast. My name is Noah.
Devon!
My name is. Oh, we messed up the order.
I don't even know. Do we have an order?
We technically
It's
did, but I wanted to
usually
throw us off.
Oh
It's
god. Okay, one
it's
more
usually
time.
Noah, me, and then Devin. You know, Devin, you go first.
Welcome to the Dilemma Dudes podcast. My name is Devon.
My name is Noah.
And my name is Keelan. Devin, you're cut.
That was a hot mess.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was doing like the whole like Mr. Beast, streamer introduction. Everything's overly exaggerated.
Okay, sure. That's a
Right.
good excuse.
Yeah.
I have $10,000 and I'm going to allow this person to buy whatever they want in the store up to $10,000, but they don't know the actual amount. So let's see what happens.
I'm gonna confess and say I have an addiction to Mr. Beast videos.
That is word for word a Mr. Beast intro.
100%. When I first heard of Mr. Beast, I remember seeing everyone post his Christmas giveaways, and I'm like, this guy, like, this
Yeah.
is just stupid. Like, there'd be like a million reposts, and everyone's sharing, like, oh my god, I just want to win a Tesla. And I think I made like an Instagram story about like being sarcastic about you're not gonna win a Tesla from this random guy on the internet. Because I didn't really know who Mr. Beast was. I just saw and I was like,
Yeah.
he looks super cringy. And then when I finally watched, overcame my judgment. Okay, that's what I like to say. Because I watched one of his videos and I was like kind of embarrassed to admit that I found them quite entertaining.
Persevered and
And now
overcame.
his videos come out, I'm like one of the first viewers. So I just want to. I don't know what that says about me, but I overcame my judgment of Mr.
Says
Beast.
a lot about you.
Because
Noah.
here's the thing. I don't like to hate on anyone that's really successful. Like, if they found a way to be successful, and even if I find their content so dumb, I got to give it to them.
I mean, the reason why people like Mr. Beast and like David Dobrik, why they're so successful, is because they're getting monetization from all these different things plus sponsorships.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're getting YouTube, they're getting TikTok, they're getting Instagram, they're getting
freaking so much money.
Twitch, they're whatever. And then plus they get these sponsorships. And literally, like, I watch some of David Dobrik's vlogs, but literally in some of his vlogs, he'll be like, okay, I want to do this video, but it costs me $300,000. Let's call Honey and see if they'll do it. And then it'll just be like, yeah, cool, we got the money. Just $300,000 right there.
That's what the Dilemma Dudes will be eventually.
And that's the thing
Eventually.
about like people like Mr. Beast and like David Dobrik. That usually they're like giving stuff away. They're doing like something at least kind of cool. The only
Usually,
time
yeah.
I'll hate on someone who's successful, where it's like those videos we were watching where it's like abusive relationship prank.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
bomb out of school prank, and it's like,
Well, it's, yeah.
Whoa,
It's like,
man.
you're making money literally on people's trauma.
Yeah, no, that's
So let's
messed up.
not
That's just
do
straight
that.
up messed up. The whole
Yeah.
prank thing, it's like such a fine line. Because like, I like Impractical
Do
Jokers.
you remember when pranks were good?
Yeah, like there is still some good stuff, but TikTok's completely ruined like the whole prank
Ugh.
game. Because the
Yeah.
pranks people
Guys,
pull on there.
what is with one word I can make you cringe?
Oh god, okay. Oh
Munyanya.
yeah, I saw that video.
Devin, do you know who I'm talking about?
not at all, but it was weird.
He's this kid. He's probably on YouTube as well. He's got to be like 18, and that's his bit. That's his prank. Is he like the one of videos? I think it was who was it? Was it Cody Ko?
Mhm. That's the only reason I know about
And
it.
the first video, he watched was him in like a Walmart or something, and he smashes his cart into this lady's cart, and then just goes "Muñeño," and the lady like backs up, and he just gets in front of her and smashes her cart over and over again.
It's not
saying
even
this, like-
funny. He's just a complete dick.
It's so annoying. And the lady is literally like, "Are you kidding me? I'm just like, it's Christmas time." And that's the other thing is like, it's Christmas time.
It's Christmas. It's like COVID. You shouldn't be just
It's
smashing into
COVID.
people.
Yeah.
Just let this lady do her shopping and leave.
Yeah.
That's kind of toxic.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
It's one of those things where it's like, pranks used to be like funny.
Mm-hmm.
Not even funny. They used to be like, "Oh my goodness, he got him!" Like, whoopee cushions. Whoopee cushions are great.
Oh yeah.
Fart boxes are great.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Never gets old. Just blasting fart sound effects through like a theater sound system or something. Never gets
Yeah.
old. We got lots of cringy stuff to talk about today, because today we're talking about conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah, these boys have some.
I cannot be more
things,
excited to tell you about the conspiracy theory that I have today.
I'm excited.
But I think I'll let Devin go first because he's got.
Really?
Or do you want me to go first?
No, I will take. I'll
let you go first because I don't know. I feel like my conspiracy theory could be an entire episode. So, maybe we'll talk about Devin's and I'll be like, oh man, well we already ran over time and now it's.
Well, I don't have nearly as extensive notes as you do.
Mhm.
I've only got about a page, so.
Well, I'm
see how long
excited.
this
I'm
takes.
excited to hear about these because
Noah's gonna tell us his thesis and whole essay later.
yeah, I got 2 pages of research.
Actually, that's an essay in my book. So
2 pages. Me too, actually.
All right.
Hit us with it, Noah. Devin.
Okay,
No.
so imagine. Don't even imagine. This is all 100% factual truth. Okay. Okay. Underneath the tectonic plates of planet Earth, there are massive caverns and caves, okay?
Mhm.
That span the entire globe, and they lead to the core, which is hollow, except it has one small miniature sun inside. Okay?
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Now, here's
Ice
the
Age
thing.
3. Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
So imagine Ice Age 3, but instead of a dinosaur wonderland, it's all-powerful humanoid aliens, Vikings, and Nazis.
Nazis. Okay.
so
Okay.
a combination. There's a combination of aliens, Vikings, and Nazis living on this core planet.
Underneath the underneath the continents of our planet Earth.
Okay.
Now, we're all relatively familiar with Nazis, I would hope.
I'd say I'm a little familiar, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So these underdwelling Nazis came out from under the ground, brainwashed Germany, turned into Nazi Germany, put one of their spokespeople in charge, little guy you know as Hitler, and let me just look at my notes here. And during the war, Hitler sends off a little group of Nazis off to the Antarctic. In the Antarctic, they find giant glacier caverns, a lot of caverns, and they find and they establish a city there, where
this is the Nazis establishing a city in the Arctic.
This is the Nazis establishing an under.
Is this before or
city.
after they took over Germany?
This is after, while the war is going on.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
This is
so
while the war
World War
is going
II
on.
is in full blown.
Yes.
Okay.
There they live to this day with the Illuminati, pulling the strings on modern day society while they are, listen to this, while they are trying to perfect their UFO. Because they got given schematics by aliens.
This is just so out there.
By the aliens that also live with the Nazis under
I'm
the world?
assuming it's other aliens. I'm
Okay.
assuming here. I'm assuming.
I like some conspiracy theories you can sort of piece things together. You can see why people believe them.
This is just,
but this is just all over the place. It's completely.
This is like 5 conspiracy
Yeah.
theories mixed into one. You got Nazis, the conspiracy theory that Nazis weren't real,
Mhm.
the conspiracy theory that there's aliens, and also the conspiracy theory that there's people living underneath.
Oh,
the
and
world.
then there's the
Oh.
whole secret society Illuminati thing that controls
Illuminati,
the whole
yeah.
world.
Also, don't forget that they believe that Hitler survived, ran to what's it called? Where did they say he ran to? Anyway, somewhere in South America, and then he got picked up by a submarine from the Arctic. and
Yeah, I
got
remember seeing like
taken
parts of
over.
a documentary of like
And
people
got-
that have these whole theories about Hitler surviving.
yeah, that we could do a whole episode on just that theory in itself.
Now-
I just think it's people they just cannot accept defeat. Like if you're a not, because I'm sure these people are like white supremacist Nazis,
Yeah.
basically. They're like they just have to create this whole crazy story to justify why they believe what they believe. It's so absurd.
I'm confused as to why in that paragraph there is also Vikings, but they have nothing to do with anything.
They are completely out of there.
I just want to know more about this like Middle Earth thing going on, like this weird underground where all these mythical creatures live, basically.
You know
In
what's
my-
hilarious
in my
is they
brain-
gloss over that
Yeah,
really
that's
hardcore.
just like the
Yeah.
start, and you're like, oh, okay, this is cool and conspiracy. And then that's
And
just
then
like,
just all
yeah, we're moving on.
and
We're moving on
Nazis.
from that. That's not a big deal. Like, well, that's kind of a big deal. You're telling me there's people living in the middle of the earth.
It honestly makes me think of Ice Age and Journey to the Center of the Earth with Josh Hutcherson and Brendan Fraser into it combined.
Now, some of this is rooted in historical fact, if not all of it, of course.
Right.
So actually, Nazi Germany did send out an expedition to the Arctic. They actually did. Said theorists or conspiracy theorists say it was a massive expedition containing dozens of ships with scientists, materials, all that stuff. When in
That has never
reality,
been found.
that just disappeared.
Yeah.
When in
course.
reality, it was one small ship, and it was to find a place that Germany could expand their whaling industry.
No, that's not what
See,
happened.
that makes sense.
No, that's definitely not what happened, though.
That's definitely not what happened.
No, that
Um,
makes too much sense.
I was gonna,
It's
I
like
was gonna
even
say,
if they thought that Hitler, like, and there was this whole Nazi encampment on the Arctic, like, how is one singular tiny ship going to Antarctica a reason for that to be the case? Like, there would be a lot more action going on.
It was a fleet. It
I was
was
gonna
a
say
fleet.
a fleet.
But
Imagine,
wasn't it just
imagine,
one ship though? Like they proved that it was just one ship.
Hey
proved that
man,
it was one
evidence
ship.
is all subjective here.
That's the common
If
theme:
they-
is evidence
if
is
they
subjective.
really did, if they really did send out a fleet of ships, man, us on the other side got to be stupid to not notice that.
yeah.
another part that they always bring up to show that they are obviously correct and we are a whole bunch of blind sheep that just follow the media.
Okay.
Is the fact that there was this Arctic Treaty, which basically means no one's allowed to blow up the Arctic. Like you're not allowed to shoot missiles close to it or anything like that because it is like a giant wildlife preserve.
Oh, and for the Nazis too.
Well, that's the thing is they signed this
Right.
pretty close to World War II, so all the people are like, well, why would the Nazis agree to this if it wasn't in their
Right.
best interests for their secret base camp? Huh?
I agree. No,
Why
I
would they
agree
agree
with
to
them.
this?
Yeah, I think they're there. Do you guys
It's true.
want to plan a little trip down there?
I was already thinking
We
about
bring
it.
a camera crew.
To
We can make
see-
like a whole
to see the
documentary
snow
about it.
Nazis?
I don't know. Like we're trying to get a little more viral here. I think that would be the start. Like journey to the snow Nazis. Just imagine that coming up on your YouTube. Holy man! There's just like
I
there's
love
just like a
that.
frozen Hitler just beside us. We're like, "Ooh."
Just an ice sculpture.
No, it's like Hitler like
You're
frozen.
not a true snow Nazi unless your tiny little mustache didn't freeze white. That's it.
That's probably horribly
Oh, my
offensive.
goodness.
I just like
Oh man.
that's so all over the place. I can't even. If someone asked me to explain that conspiracy theory, I wouldn't be able to.
I had a bit of a hard time. I had to condense it pretty drastically, not gonna lie. But it all stems from the I just looked it up here. It all stems from the theory that Hitler escaped to Argentina,
Right.
and that's where he lived, and then he got picked up by a submarine.
Yeah, and Argentina's
take him
close to the
Arctic.
Argentina is close to the Arctic. Like that's your gateway to the Arctic. So again, I can see where people like in their weird ways tie things up. But like I said,
Yeah.
like it's just people can usually these conspiracies are created by typically people that are super on like the right side of politics, and they just cannot accept.
The right side and
Sorry.
not the right
No,
side.
like the right. Yeah. They just cannot accept defeat, or they
Yeah.
like they just cannot believe any mainstream anything. You know. We're getting interrupted.
Kathleen,
Yeah.
bring us food too.
It's just it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
And then this is their coping mechanism, is just to create these theories that are just completely mind blowing.
Well, it's one of those.
Honestly. No, go ahead, Devin.
It's one of those things where it's they're so afraid to admit that not only were they wrong, like I don't think it has to be with them being right or wrong. I think it's one of those things that they're so afraid, like the assassination of Kennedy.
Yeah.
Like they're so afraid to admit that one person, one psycho who just kind of goes off his rocker can make such a big difference as in killing a president, that they are willing to admit it's like, no, it had to be bigger. Had to be a giant conspiracy that was going on
Yeah.
for years. Like they're just too afraid to admit one person could shake history
Yeah.
like that. So it has to be bigger.
It is. It's a coping mechanism. I'd
has to
say
be.
it's the same thing with like I don't want to get into COVID conspiracies that much, but the reason there's so like we're in such a crazy conspiracy time right now because of COVID,
Yeah.
and it's the same thing. People cannot accept that there's this virus that can be so dangerous that the whole world has to shut down. People cannot
I think
accept
the reason
that
why
that's
people
possible.
jump on it is because it's affecting the entire
Mhm.
world. But that is also a downfall of like the people who are like, this is the government's making it up. And you're like, yeah, okay, so every single government in the entire world sat down together and was like, we're
agreed.
gonna play a prank on the world.
It makes zero sense. That's what people like. They like to say this COVID is like a
Noah's door breaks down.
Yeah.
It's the freaking government.
COVID is like people like to say it's this way for the government to have like all powerful control. Which
Yeah.
you know what? With COVID conspiracy theories, I can at least have a little bit of understanding with people, because I'm like, you know what? They're not completely. Most of them aren't completely off their rocker,
Yeah.
because they just can't accept. People don't like being told what to do. They just can't accept that they're getting told what to do. So they just come up with these crazy, wild theories to be like, yeah, well, I'm not listening because this. And you know what? I think we all have our moments where we feel that way, because COVID is so unbelievable that sometimes you might make up these crazy scenarios in your head about why it's happening. But I would never be the person to get up on like a soapbox or be on the streets or be on like
Yeah.
Facebook, like telling people about my crazy conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Because it's not that
especially
important
when they
to me.
involve giant underground tunnels where apparently children are getting trafficked
No,
through.
just wait. That's what I'm talking about.
But honestly, the people who stand up on soapboxes and like, I'm not gonna argue with them.
No.
Like I'm not the one that's gonna be on the internet for hours arguing with one person. I'll see it and just go, all right, you do you.
Exactly.
And then walk away and live my life.
I'd say for the most
like-
part, conspiracy theories are very innocent. But then we
Yeah.
see times like what happened in the States recently, where a bunch of conspiracy theories caused people to freaking riot a government building.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I it's hard, but conspiracy theories are they're usually funny, and usually you can just sit back and laugh at them because they're so absurd. But there's times where they're like they're dangerous. And like I said with COVID conspiracy theories, I know a lot of people that I would say are pretty level-headed that believe a lot of this stuff. And I guess I can see where they're coming from, but I don't. But if that leads to them taking actions like refusing to wear a mask in a store, like purposely having huge parties, purposely just making super unsafe statements, like just on the off chance that you're wrong, and that if they don't believe COVID is real, whatever, but on the off chance that you're wrong, why would you go and make all these horrible decisions? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's just not
Yeah.
worth it. I don't get it.
I saw the funniest video the other day. It was a guy interviewing people during the inauguration. Walks up to this lady who's on the street, obviously protesting the Biden being inaugurated.
Mhm.
And so he's like, Biden's being inaugurated, what do you think? And she's like, oh, he's not going to be the president. And he's like, he's getting inaugurated like right now. And she just keeps on being like, he's not going to be the president. It's illegal. This is an illegal inauguration. And literally in the background, you hear cheering and clapping from the inauguration happening like 2 blocks away.
It's all
He's
fake.
like, it just happened. It
They're
just
all
happened. No, it
robots.
didn't. He's not the president. But he is.
Not
He's not
my
president.
president.
She goes, he's not my president. And then he goes, oh no, but he is. Are you an American citizen? She goes, yes. Then he is your president. Well, he's not God's president.
Oh, good
like,
lord.
oh
God doesn't
my
have a
goodness.
freaking president.
So funny.
Anyways, I don't want to get like too political here.
No, but that.
But
no.
that's
Do we-
I
do
just
we-
feel like you can't talk about conspiracies and not get a little bit political. But
Yeah.
what I'm about to talk about kind of ties in a little bit to some of these conspiracy theories that we just talked about.
Well, really
But
quick before you
anything else
dive
to
into that, do you guys want to hear just a real short one, a real quickie
Okay.
that I
sure.
stumbled upon?
Yeah.
So we all know about the fake moon landing,
Oh yeah.
but did you know that
Right.
the moon was actually destroyed during the Cold War, and it's a hollow projection in the sky?
Just why? Like why does anyone
So
want to
Wait,
believe
so
it?
it's a
here's
projection?
what it is. Here's what it is. So let's start with the fake moon landing. All right. So why it's a fake moon landing? Because
Yeah.
we can't get to the moon. Duh.
just too
well,
hard.
the
Too
video
hard,
we
okay.
have, why it's fake. It was filmed on a soundstage, obviously.
Clearly.
Because when he planted the flag, it rippled. There's no air in space. Another thing. The shadows weren't all coming from one direction, like where the sun was coming from. Obviously, multiple lights on a soundstage.
Mhm.
and-
Not just all the
Who
planets
filmed the
and stuff,
video?
Yeah.
Who filmed the video?
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know enough about this
maybe
whole
the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know
So
enough
you
about
actually
this whole
see
moon landing thing.
So the first guy to step on the moon was actually picture was taken of him stepping on the moon for the first time.
Mhm.
Right.
But the answers to all of those are super simple, but yet for some reason, no, like they don't
Yeah.
accept them. The ripple, it's
Not
because when you
accepted.
stab something in the ground, there's force going up the rod, and it makes the thing wave.
And you're in a. I mean, the moon has some semblance of gravity, or else he would be floating away.
He would just be gone.
So there's
You just
some
walk out
source.
and just shoot away.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's some
some
sort of
sense of
so the
of
kinetic energy
gravity. So he's got
makes it move
Yeah.
a little bit.
yeah
You know who took the
multiple
picture?
light sources. Who?
A freaking arm on the side of the space shuttle because they wanted
Yeah.
a picture to begin with.
Took a selfie, pretty much.
Pretty
of course, they
much.
went to the moon. Why wouldn't they want to take a picture?
It was the first selfie stick.
Yeah.
Was
and
attached to the moon
and why it's so
landing.
reflective, or why it's there's so many different shadows because the moon's
Light
pretty
sources?
reflective, and also there's a bunch
And
of
there's
other
like
light
stars
sources.
and
other
planets. Yeah.
exactly.
And the sun.
You're in space.
But here's
like
the
when the
doozy.
moon's
That's so
covered,
funny.
it's still bright out because there's freaking stars
Yeah.
and stuff.
But here's the
Yeah.
doozy here. Here's the doozy. It got blown up during the Cold War because the U.S. government diverted multiple nuclear missiles from Russia to the moon.
when was the Cold War?
That was like a little bit after World War II, right? Like the 50s
Yeah.
and stuff.
I don't know exactly
I'm not
when, but I
super
want to
familiar
say it
with the
was like
Cold
the
War.
50s.
Okay.
But yeah, the U.S.
And
almost got
no.
nuked. The U.S. almost got nuked, but the moon did instead.
But it was the heroic,
Right.
United States of
even,
America.
Even if the moon did get bombed and it blew up, a projection that is that powerful.
That's never messed up. That's never gone away somehow, you know?
Well, what do you call a solar
It doesn't make
eclipse?
sense.
Come on, that's just a glitch.
It's so unbelievable.
It's someone putting the lens cap on the projector.
Say,
Oh,
Jeremy,
man.
stop!
That's I just can't believe these. Can't believe it.
That's so
my
funny.
goodness.
Like I said, there's
Oh.
some conspiracies I read, even the whole moon landing conspiracy that never happened. It's on a soundstage. You know what? There's some people that really believe that. They've made a whole entire documentaries. They can put up a pretty convincing reason for that. But then, like, to say it's projected and it was blown up,
Yeah.
there's absolutely no grounds to state that argument.
Yeah.
Like,
And
like
also,
where does that
like-
even stem
like-
from? It's just like some guy was just sitting there like, oh, this would be a funny movie concept, and then
Yeah.
just like was like, oh, well, let's try and make
Which,
it real life.
I mean, it would be a funny movie
For
concept.
sure.
Yeah, we should make that
Right?
movie. Blow up the moon.
Anyways,
Ugh.
That's funny.
I've been waiting to tell you guys about this. Next thing I'm gonna
yeah,
tell you
Noah's
about.
we were
for
talking about
weeks.
doing conspiracy theories like weeks
Oh
ago,
my
and
God.
then we decided like 2 weeks ago.
guys been-
and Noah's been like, he's dibbed this one since the
You've
beginning.
been leaving me on the edge of my seat forever. I mean, I heard about this conspiracy on another podcast where they were talking about conspiracy theories, but I just wanted to talk about it further because it's just it's so unbelievable and it's so funny at the same time. So the story basically starts because there was during like the start of COVID, there was all these like tents in Central Park like for hospital overflow, and there was medical ships that were also used for hospital overflow. But of
Like,
course,
ships as in
there was like Navy ships where they were using them.
actual
yeah.
like actual like
Yeah,
boating
like
ships, okay?
massive Navy ships.
Not UFOs.
But of
or-
course, like this isn't what they were really used for, according to these conspiracy theorists, because that can't make sense. There cannot be that many people
Ridiculous.
sick with COVID that they would need this extra thing. This is obviously
logical things can't exist.
no. This is obviously a cover up, some grand conspiracy. So this is like the headline. Now I'll say that it's really hard to find information about these conspiracies because like everything's so censored online now. So when you're going through
And like everything is a conspiracy. I looked up list of modern conspiracies, and there was just some ones that were just like, no.
yeah. So like
Well, and 50% of them are COVID related too.
mm.
Yeah, those are the
Yeah, and I wanted to stay away from those. It's too fresh and real. We want to keep this a COVID-free podcast as much as we
fresh
can.
as in it's still happening.
exactly.
The knife is still dragging across the
yeah. Anyway, so this is how it starts. Over 35,000 malnourished, caged, and tortured children have been reported rescued or found deceased in underground tunnels beneath large U.S. cities, including one beneath New York Central Park, with more coming, according to this guy. He's a reporter, Timothy Charles Homseth, and he says that he works for the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. Now, here's some backstory on this guy. So he's the
Wait, he works for the PPT?
yeah, Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. And the best part is that I'll tell his backstory first and then kind of get into how much of a lunatic he is. So he's the namesake and operator of the website tied centrally to the claims. So basically, like, the only proof and the only stuff about this conspiracy just comes from his website.
All right.
So he's an investigative journalist and an alleged FBI witness, whatever the heck that means. Like, that's in his bio. An alleged FBI
An
witness.
FBI witness.
Yeah, like, I don't know why that's in your bio.
Is that
Like, why is
like,
that important?
the FBI is going to find this person. We need someone to
Yeah.
witness them doing it.
And
he
he
just stands on the side.
and he
Does that
also
make him more credible? Like, is that what he's
I don't
hoping
know.
for?
I don't know.
Like, look, the FBI took me as a witness. Like, I was a witness for the FBI. Like you can trust me.
Doesn't make you credible at all. But he confirmed to Vice News that he was a believer in QAnon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with QAnon.
Oh yeah.
I've heard the word over and over
So
again. Never
QAnon
really
is
looked into it.
basically it's so many things, but the best base is it's a fringe group that claims Democrats are behind international crime rings. So they believe that it's the same thing. They cannot accept defeat, and they just cannot accept the fact that the Democrats are loved by the mainstream media more than they are. So of course
Right.
that means that the Democrats are either like lizard people or that there's some kind of like crazy species. Lots of them believe that
hey, if you're looking for an alien, look at your past president.
yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say look underneath Germany for some tunnels.
And most of them believe that Trump is like the Messiah. It's like they're oh my gosh. He's everything that the world needs. Trump is gonna
Right.
he's gonna save these children from underground that the Democrats have captured, is basically what it is.
When the true inauguration happens.
Yeah. So in the
Yeah.
post on social media, Homseth claims he is part of the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force, framed as an agency within the U.S. Department of Defense. But, of course, no such division exists. So he's claimed
It's too deep. It's too deep. You'll never find
yeah,
it.
so a spokesperson for the Department of Defense confirmed there is not a Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. I just like this. Who trusts a guy that just claims he works at the Pentagon and then
Like the Pentagon is like the highest level security in the States. Why is there a pedophile task force in the Pentagon?
and then this like if I was one of his believers and I'm reading this conspiracy, I'm like, okay, sure. I'm not saying this is me, but if I'm reading, I'm like, wow, that sounds pretty interesting. Yeah, there's tents,
Yeah.
there's hospital ships, underground tunnels. I
Worked
saw
out.
that Jordan Peele movie Us, put all the underground tunnels and the sewers. Yeah, there must be kids under there. And then you read
It
like
was in a movie. It's got to be
then
true.
the credibility of this guy is that he says he works for Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. You're like, oh dang, well that sounds official. Then you just read a little bit longer. That task force
Someone in the
it
Pentagon
doesn't
like,
exist.
No.
It doesn't exist. Anyway.
This is like the kid on the playground who's like, yeah, well, like, my dad is like, he's like the strongest guy in the world. Like,
Yeah.
he's in the, look at the Guinness World Record. He's like the best.
They're
It's like, no, he's not. Get out of here.
It's just
Go
they're
away.
children.
And it
They're
pulls
I
out
children.
saw
the
your
Guinness
dad.
World
He
Records
weighs
that
like
he's made.
130 pounds. Get out of here.
Anyways, I still have like a page and a half to go. You guys won't believe.
jeez.
If at any time
Yeah.
you want to stop me because you just need to process what
No,
I'm
this
saying.
is great.
Anyway, so we're gonna go back to the underground children because that's how this starts. So there's traumatized children, some of whom have never seen the light of day, pregnant preteens, deformed babies, piles of little corpses whose bodies were apparently used for organ harvesting. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing because this was real. This is kind of messed up.
It's laughing because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, children locked in cages. They were electroshocked and traumatized in order to harvest their blood, adrenochrome for the elites to drink. They were being
Oh, I've heard about it.
okay. So this is they were being carried out of the tunnels by Marines. So this goes back to this other scandal called Pizzagate, which was basically like there was this
Oh
pizza
my
restaurant
goodness.
that all these
Yeah.
conspiracy theorists, most of them were QAnon, believe that there's all these children hiding in there, and like Hillary
Yeah.
Clinton, Bill Gates, all these people that are too loved, they're too accepted. They
Right.
can obviously control the world, and the only way they can possibly explain that these people are as great as they are, I feel in a way that they're making themselves look dumb because they're like claiming that the Democrats are better than them, and the only way that can possibly be the case is because they're sucking children's blood. They're drinking children's blood.
Well, weren't they? Isn't it also a thing where like they do it to stay like to reduce their age, like it's
Yeah.
like an anti-aging thing too?
I don't know. Yeah, and they're like lizard people. Yeah, there's so many conspiracies that stem from this one
so funny.
conspiracy.
It's absolute. Oh,
They just keep coming, and like it is insane to the point where this whole mole children thing is pretty innocent because there was never really anyone ever really freaked out about it other than online.
Yeah.
But with the whole Pizzagate, like people tried to storm this restaurant that they believed was a problem, and then actually
Is it like because those people had been seen at multiple times going into this pizza place? Is that like how?
no,
they
I don't even know why.
started it?
I don't know enough about
so
it.
why pick that place?
Yeah, I have no idea why. I didn't.
the guy
do-
who started it just like really got just really got like screwed over by his pizza order one time, and he's like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna destroy you and your restaurant.
yeah.
Either that or it's the guy who owns the shop who's like, this is great publicity. I'm going to get everybody in my shop by saying that these people.
Oh man, it's so unbelievable. Yeah, that would have been a good marketing scheme actually though.
Yeah. I'm sure he made a ton of money.
Anyways,
on
the
it.
guy that created the whole Pizzagate scandal is in jail now.
The blood of the.
Really?
What's your secret sauce? Children.
What's he in jail for? Like
I don't
why is
know.
he in
I don't
jail?
want to get into it. I don't know enough about it.
when
But
you-
or he might be in jail,
when
or
you go to this
or he's
place,
out now.
ask for the pizza special.
Yeah, I think he might be. I think he was in prison. I don't know if he still is, but because because people started to act on, like, I don't know if this place. I think the place was like caught on fire or something.
Jeez.
But I didn't do enough research on Pizzagate, so I don't like. It could be a whole other episode. Anyways, let's get back to the underground children.
Right.
So apparently, for months, a secret U.S. military operation has been sweeping an extensive network of underground tunnels across the U.S. into Canada and Mexico to rescue thousands of horrifically abused children. Recent operations centered beneath major cities in New York, California, Florida, and Washington. So there's children being pulled out of the ground from everywhere. But the main one was Central Park, where they claimed like
Right.
30,000 kids were rescued in a single overnight operation from underground
And
tunnels.
that's why all these trucks and ships and stuff were coming in.
I just want to talk about how on earth would they sneak 30,000 children in a freaking Central Park? I don't care if it's at night. There's going to be people that are walking around Central Park, and it's 30,000 children. Someone would notice something. Like,
I'm
they're
sorry,
basically
have you-
claiming that 35,000, like, mole children, who by their description, I'm picturing like little golems coming out of the ground. They're saying that they smuggled them all out of this tunnel, but the only reason that no one knows about it is because it happens at night. That's what these guys
Right.
say. Well, you know what? Like, the only reason we didn't have any evidence is because, well, it happened at night, so no one was there. Like, well,
Right.
someone would have been there. Now there's 35,000 children out there. Like, none of the children have come forward saying, like, yeah, I was one of those kids. There's just,
Yeah.
it doesn't make
Well,
any
it's
sense.
because they're blind because they've never seen the light of day, so they can't like
Yeah.
go online or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
But like, I'm sorry, have you ever been on a bus with a bunch of kids?
Yeah, they'd be.
They loud.
They're freaking loud.
But no, but
Now
Yeah.
imagine 35,000 of them.
okay, I'll play their side now. But just these kids are so traumatized, dude. They probably don't even know how to talk.
They probably wouldn't know how
They
to
probably don't even
walk, so
speak
how'd they
English.
get out?
They don't even speak English, dude. They've been brainwashed. Their blood has been sucked. You know?
Their blood.
Noah,
They
Noah, I had my brains leaking out of my eyelids. Just listening to you tell the story, let alone you trying to play devil's advocate.
it's oh, God.
The fact that to try and make yourself play devil's advocate, you had to put on this like exaggerated voice just proves the fact that this is ridiculous.
It's gotta be one of my favorite things
Oh
ever.
man,
Like, I was talking about the movie Us. Have you guys seen that movie?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, basically, the movie ends. I mean, sorry, spoilers, but it's been out for a long time.
That's fine.
Where there's this whole underground society where everyone has like their doppelgangers that are basically living out their life in these sewers underneath the U.S. And then
Okay.
the movie ends with this screen like there's miles and miles of underground tunnels that aren't being used in the U.S. So I think that this theory started because someone saw this movie and were like, oh my God, well, I know what's under there. Children
Yeah.
that
I
are having
feel
their
like
blood and
children.
organs
Their
harvested,
blood and organs
and
harvested.
they're being impregnated when
my-
they're like children. Like, that was impregnated
Yeah.
preteens was one of the things.
My thing is like who is doing that to 35,000 children?
Tom Hanks by himself.
Tom
exclusively.
Hanks, Bill Gates.
Yeah, Tom Hanks. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's like it's like only a few people are doing this. How? How are a few people doing this to 35,000 children?
Like even
Interesting.
let's think about this rationally. Let's say only like 10 or 15 of like the really high elite people were
Yeah.
behind this. They need the manpower. They need to hire people.
Mm.
And come on, when you hire a workforce like that to corral, let's say at minimum 35,000 kids. 'Cause that was New York
Yeah.
alone. But
Yeah.
at minimum 30,000 kids. You know manpower you're gonna need of workers? And you know there's gonna be some idiot, Bob, Joe, or Jeremy who's gonna be like, oh, I'm off to work, honey, corralling a bunch of, mole children. See you later. Like, he's
Yeah.
gonna blab eventually. So, like,
My
how do you
question
keep
is-
it a secret?
And all these hospitals would be full of them, and to take care of them.
I was gonna say, where are they now?
So they have
Where'd they
have
go?
one shred of apparently someone saying a 69-year-old nurse working with the coronavirus medical unit in New York Central Park reported that they were treating severely traumatized and abused children rescued from tunnels beneath New York City. She said that the rescue operation was also using the Navy medical ship sitting in the New York harbor. This is their only semblance of evidence.
What, they shipped them out to sea and dumped them overboard?
It's
Guys, I know.
their
I know
only
what
evidence
happened.
is a 69-year-old nurse.
Guys,
I don't know,
cracked
like
the code.
First of all, nice.
They loaded all of these kids onto these ships and then funneled them into the underground Nazi tunnels to the core of the planet,
Yeah.
where they have their own miniature star so they can get accustomed to the sunlight before they release them.
And then they've
And
got
Right.
the
and then-
humanoid
and then-
aliens and the Vikings are taking care of them right now.
And while they're down there, they've been recording multiple moon landings.
Yes.
Yeah,
too.
of course.
Even more of them. And they've been rigging the election, obviously, too, from under there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
And
it
creating
wasn't
COVID.
a legal inauguration. So.
Yeah.
and of course, they've been keeping in close contact with Hitler and his Nazis in the Arctic,
Yeah.
just to make
Right.
sure that when he does fly off on his UFO, they can go with him.
Anyways, I want to read some comments from this blog post that this
Yes,
mostly
please.
comes from, because they're so funny, but they're also so alarming because people take it so seriously. Anyways, so this
Yeah.
person says, Child Protection Services tried taking me and my sister and brother, but thanks to God they didn't succeed. But I was forced to do porn, or they were going to do it to my siblings, all in their 5 days of so-called care. Sick and sickening. All the pieces are put back together now. God bless you all.
Sorry, what?
What?
So it's the most horribly written comment, of course. I think
Yeah.
what I got from it is that they're saying Child Protection Services is behind this whole underground children thing. So if you're an orphan, you're taken in by Child Protection Services.
You're taken
Underground to be your blood to be harvested. But they're saying,
Wow.
oh well, thank God they didn't take me, but they did force me to do porn. That's what they basically said. So instead of
Wait,
at
so
least
they did
didn't
take
at
you?
least they didn't harvest my blood, but they did force me to do porn.
What?
And then
What?
yeah, and then they're like, all the pieces are put together now. And then of course they have to end it with God bless you all, just to add a little jab in there, because this is obviously the most godly feed I've ever
Oh
seen.
my
Oh
goodness.
my goodness.
Wow.
Anyways,
I mean,
let's-
that's in the best possible way, but I've never wanted to hit myself over the head with a hammer more than I do now.
anyways, okay, there's some more. There's just they just don't end. And then this person
Wait.
comments. Sorry, what?
I was gonna say, what if Trump is one of those children all grown up?
Yeah.
He's got tiny little hands.
He's deformed, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Anyways, they're like 35,000 kids, 3 exclamation marks in tunnels, question mark. Is this it? 4 question marks. Adrenochrome. If this story is real, here it is. Praise God. 5 exclamation mark. They all end with like, God bless you, praise God.
Yeah.
Oh my
As if this is like the
goodness.
most biblical movement to ever take place. Is these fake children are being rescued from underground. This is what God has called us to do. Anyways, now it gets into how Trump is obviously, he needs to be president because he's the only one that can save these children. So
Right.
God bless all those involved in stopping these atrocities. I think President Trump is the first sane president we've had through several terms. I believe he is truly God's man for such a time as this.
Yeah, him and Jeffrey Epstein
Yeah.
are the best people to save children, eh?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
They just use this. People voted for Trump because they're like, oh my God, we need to rescue these children underground. And Biden obviously won't do it because Biden is obviously sucking their blood. Because how else?
Yeah,
how else can
obviously.
he be so old and capable? Well, I mean, it's arguable if he's capable. But how else can he? How else can he beat our Lord and Savior Donald Trump? And the only possible reason is he's sucking children's blood.
Praise God.
Praise God.
I feel like I need to go I feel like I need to go brush off my biblical knowledge.
I don't think I read
after
my Bible enough.
After Revelation, I need to check out the Book of Trump. Trump 1:1.
No, it's just the
Gotta see
book
what
of
that
the book
says.
of the United States. That's the one you need to check out.
Yeah.
Because
Right,
the
of
United
course,
States is
yes.
obviously God's promised land.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
all
sure,
these-
like
all-
on the original stone tablets, like that they found of like all the testaments. I'm pretty sure it says, God's chosen people, Israel. Oh wait, cross that off. The U.S. of A.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what it
just
actually
keeps
says?
going.
It says these commandment trumps all the rest, and people took that and were like, these commandments, Trump is the best. There's
Hoorah!
yeah.
Anyways, there's
Oh, man.
there's a couple more. This person says, I've noticed a change in the president's daily briefing. He knows all about this, doesn't he? With the Lord's help, it has taken me a couple years to wrap my head and heart around this. No, duh, it's taken you a couple years to wrap your head around this. I don't know what you've been reading, but I mean, it would take a lot of time for me to wrap my head around this. I think it would take me longer than
Honestly,
2 years.
How many?
Anyways, they said they have searched a lot on
How
this
much?
horrible
How much
crime.
paint did you have to drink to be able to believe this?
They've said they've searched a lot on this horrible crime against children. For one, I just want to know where they've been searching.
Yeah, because isn't this the only article?
Yeah,
that's
it's the only thing I could find. And then it said, I even found you on Field's site one time. That must be some other conspiracy website.
I bet you it's like an alien
Yeah.
conspiracy website.
And then he said, thank you for your God-given courage and blessings to you, Timothy. Timothy's the pedophile task force guy. This is something that many will not be able to stomach. I'd say, yeah, if this was real, I would not be able to stomach this. At the same time, knowing that it's
I bet you Biden has a hard time stomaching all that children blood too.
Like, it's just so absurd. Like, I'm sorry. Like. I
I think this is the hardest we've laughed in any episode.
I told you I was putting all the stuff together last night. I'm just sitting in my basement. I'm laughing. Like I was just so
Man.
funny.
Yeah, Noah
Like, it's
texted
just-
us at like what it was like 11:30 or something, and you were like, "Guys, this is gonna be good."
Anyways, I only have
Like, it's
one more
just-
line. What were you gonna say?
No, it's just like, it's so absurd.
Mhm.
Like, it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how, like, are these people just dumb? Like, do they have no, like, are they just morons?
I think the
Like,
problem
I'm
is
no offense,
there's
but
people
like,
that, like back in the day, I'd say most of these people are probably older. It's safe to assume,
Yeah.
just judging by their use of blogs and their failure
And
to be able to
exclamation marks.
text properly.
Yeah.
I'd say that, I don't want to mean to stereotype, but I'd say that they're probably older. And there's this weird divide with like older people. I'd say with us younger people, we like have grown up with social media, so we kind of know how to discern a little bit more of like what's real and what's fake. Whereas
Yeah.
like this is no fault to the older generation, but they grew up where you could usually trust like the news. You could
But it was usually one
was
source,
one news
and that was your
source.
newspaper or your TV.
it
Or
was
your
either
radio.
you're either learning stuff from your newspaper, from the TV, from the radio, or from your Uncle Earl. Like that's your only sources of information.
Breaking news, everyone! Mole children underneath Central Park.
But now, like we live in this world where there's so much fake stuff out there, but I think they still live in
Yeah.
this universe where no matter what they read on the internet, it's obviously real. It's real.
I mean, funny enough, this ties perfectly into our talks about pranks.
Yeah.
So much right now, there's these dumb fake pranks. But back in the day, beginning of YouTube, those pranks were just
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not saying that there's
Ugh.
not younger people that don't fall for these too. 100% there is.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of this weird divide that happens, and that's why a lot of people fall victim to believing these. And you know what? If one day all these conspiracy theories come to light, there's real true evidence, there's like a whole legit documentary made or something. You know what? I'm sorry I didn't rescue the children. I wasn't there for them.
But
sorry I
unlike
didn't
these people,
vote for
But-
Trump. I mean, I can't, but to
Yeah.
save the children, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, unlike these people, we would probably, if it does come to light and these were right, unlike the people who are writing these conspiracies, we would have the ability to be like, yeah, cool, I was wrong
Yeah.
then.
I just want to know how smooth their brains have to be to believe this stuff.
Smooth. Yeah.
Like what? Like is their brains just like made out of peanut butter? Like just like the ultra smooth peanut butter? Because like it's ridiculous. Like I'm sorry.
I like to
The-
give them the
the
benefit of the
other-
doubt. Like I watched that Social Dilemma documentary and how much your
Right.
like Google and social media feeds are catered to like your beliefs. So like if I
Mhm.
one day or
Mhm.
like right now I've been doing all this research on freaking conspiracy theories. If I kept doing that, I'd probably just start getting all I would get is articles about those. That's what happened. So
You just find yourself on
yeah,
the
so
dark
that's the
web.
benefit of the doubt to these people because
Yeah.
when they do that, the only media they're taking in is all this crap, and they don't know anything else.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Well, this is everything I read is this," and they tell other people, and they're like, "I've never heard of that in my life." So that's that's me playing devil's advocate again to defend these crazy people. I don't
just
want to
wanna
call them
say-
crazy people. I think everyone's kind of normal. I just
And everyone's kind of crazy.
God bless you. God bless you, people. I just don't-
Can I just say?
That's
Can
the
I
part
just,
that makes me laugh so hard. Yeah, go ahead, David.
I just say the fact that you were like, yeah, if I keep looking things like that up, I'm gonna get stuff in my feed. And as soon as you said that, I looked over at my phone and went, oh no. It's
Yeah.
listening to me, and I'm gonna
They're
get
listening.
nothing but conspiracies now.
All children.
My favorite part about all of those, like the replies that you read, were every single one of them mentioned God.
God bless you. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's the problem.
So I mean, all of us here, we've grown up in church. We'll be open about that.
Yeah.
Been fairly exposed to that kind of stuff, and I would say
I thought you were just gonna put fairly exposed.
I would say,
Okay.
I would say that I'm still a believer, but when I see stuff like
Yeah.
this, I wouldn't say it makes me question my faith, but I would say that it greatly embarrasses me, and I want everyone to know
yeah.
that
100%.
we just talked about all of this and telling you how dumb it is, and we can say we still believe in God and we don't believe in this. I just want people to know that.
That's the thing,
And-
man. Like it's just
and I
it's
can talk.
embarrassing to get associated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
That's like a huge problem with like people. When people think of Christians, they now
conspiracy
think
theories
of this. Of this, they think of Trump supporters. They think of
non-COVID believers.
non-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they think of all these things, and it's like, no, the Bible says that we should 100% respect the government put in front of us. We should obey authority.
Yeah.
We should, right? Like,
Yeah, the number one thing in the Bible is just to like love others and respect others. That's like the number
Yeah.
one commandment above all things. Not to like
and here we are trashing on
yeah,
these people.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm Jesus, so I make
Hey,
mistakes.
we're not
coming
trashing
from
on
a
the
place of love.
people. We're just trashing on the ideas.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
We're-
I
we're
took back
being-
my
we're loving
my
through
remarks of
our
calling them
honesty, guys.
crazy. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
But I was kind of when I listened to the podcast where they talked about this conspiracy theory, and then it came up about why is it that religious people always fall into these traps of conspiracies, and
Right.
I wonder the same thing because I'm like, why is it as a religious person you need these conspiracy theories? Because you're supposed to be confident in your life and why you're here and everything. Like you
Mhm.
shouldn't need any grand reason to explain things. Like you should already know. The reason the guy that kind of leads this podcast, he like spends his life studying conspiracy theories, and the reason he kind of gave is
Is it Shane Dawson?
no that Christians, like, this isn't meant to be like hurtful or anything towards Christians, but we like spend our whole lives believing in something that's really hard to prove. Like
Right.
believing in God and the Bible is something that's really hard to prove to people. Like it is.
Mhm.
There's not really much proof other than like you can just have faith and whatever, and you can be like, well, I like to live my life this way because it makes me feel like a good person, whatever.
Yeah.
So then when these conspiracies come into play, these people that are Christians are already comfortable with like coming up with crazy
Believing something
reasons
that-
for things and
yeah.
trying to justify why they believe what they believe. They're already used to getting up on their soapbox and like preaching. So that's like
Right.
that was probably the best reason I've heard for that.
It makes sense.
It does make sense to me.
Yeah, they're already used to believing in something that is hard to prove.
Because you don't see many conspiracy theorists on a more liberal side. It just doesn't. I can't think of many like liberal conspiracies.
No, not unless it's like hippies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Like
hippies
the-
are their own other like.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
hippies are like politics.
Yeah, when a guy's like
exist.
tripping out on shrooms, you can't really trust anything that's coming out of his mouth.
That's their excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a good excuse.
But hey, if you do shrooms, you do again. You do you. All right. I'm gonna just. I'll be over here.
Anyways, that was probably like the most interesting reasoning behind that. So, yeah, man, there's so much you could get into about conspiracies and why people believe. But this guy also said that it seems as if we're living in a time where conspiracies are on the rise, but they're really not. Conspiracies have always been a thing in the world.
They're just so public.
They're
right
so
now.
public and
More accessible.
It's not that they're on the rise at all. Like think about, he like used the example of thinking about back in the olden days. If someone like came up with a crazy thought and they just told their friend, and that friend told a friend, that friend told a friend, and there was no way to research it at all. So basically,
Yeah.
that would be like how conspiracies would spread. Now at least there's
Yeah.
super easy ways to fact check. But then the the opposite of that is super easy ways for things to spread even faster. So
Mhm.
Well, I mean, the root word of conspiracy is conspire, which means to be in conversation
Be
with
in
multiple
cahoots.
people talking
Yeah.
about something. Yeah.
And this is just me thinking out loud. Let's be honest. At least again, this is just my own thoughts. The root of every conspiracy theory is the conspiracy theory that you can't trust any sort of media.
mhm.
Right?
is
It
the
doesn't matter
case.
what
Or the government,
conspiracy
yeah.
theory. Yeah, it doesn't matter what conspiracy theory you're looking into, whether it's mole children, whether it's, Arctic Nazis, holoprojecting moon. All of it stems from we can't trust the government no matter what they say. It's a lie. And we can't trust the media because they're in the government.
But we can't trust the media because the government controls the media.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Right?
just-
So really
But the real
most
question-
dangerous.
I was saying the real question is, who controls the government?
Mm.
The Illuminati, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
But like that's the thing is I think the most dangerous, like again, most of these are pretty innocent. Like I don't care if you believe in mole children, fine, go for it, man. As long as you're not storming buildings and you're not setting pizza places on fire.
Yeah.
The most dangerous conspiracy theory out there is the fact you cannot trust anything credible sources say.
Yeah.
Oh, New York Times said this, must be a lie.
Well, I mean, New York Times says this, but then you also have to pay for the rest of the article to actually read it. So it's kind of
Guys,
there's no
I
point.
only read headlines. Everything I just gave you, that was just headlines. That's all I read.
Oh,
I get all my
perfect. I love
information
that.
from headlines. Yeah, that's like the fact that these people won't trust mainstream media, but they'll trust this guy that says he works for some made up, like a guy that says he works for the Pentagon pedophile task force,
Pentagon pedophile.
and then that
Yeah.
task
The
force
fact
doesn't
that
exist,
he-
but somehow
I'm like,
he's credible though. But
I'm pretty sure that people who work for the Pentagon don't voice the fact that they work
Yeah.
for the Pentagon.
he wouldn't put it on his blog. He wouldn't be blogging about the research
It's
they're
called
doing.
secret security
Yeah.
for a reason.
That's what I should do on my Instagram. It would be like, Devon Humphries, actor, comedian, pedophile task force at the Pentagon.
Just sneak it in there. Don't mention it at all.
Yeah.
Pentagon pedophile task force. That'll go into our Dilemma Dude's bio now.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Members of the Pentagon pedophile.
Wow.
just
We're gonna get DMs
Jeez.
from these crazy people being like,
Yeah.
"Oh, are you part of it too? Oh my goodness, I need to listen to your podcast." And then they listen.
there we
to this
go.
and
We can get some
they get
viewers.
mad.
There we go.
We gain some followers, and then halfway through this episode, we lose all a bunch
Yeah.
of followers.
Yeah. I'll be surprised if they get halfway through. Honestly,
I
Yeah.
don't know, this is probably my favorite
Oh,
episode
man.
so far.
I like I said, I don't think we've laughed this
It's
hard
been
in
an
any
hour,
episode.
and it's just like blown right by.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, guys, that was some conspiracy theories. As always, if you have more conspiracy theories or you have more dilemmas for us or would you rathers,
Would you rather?
you can go onto our Google Forms, linked wherever
Mm-hmm.
you're watching this, and submit them, or you can DM us on Instagram or anything. You can call us. You can come to our houses.
Yeah.
You can text us.
I mean, everything's public knowledge on the internet, so go
Yeah.
ahead and find it.
I honestly prefer carrier pigeons. So if you can do that, that'd be.
I-
great,
But the question
honestly.
is, Devin, what is the what's the line from what is the carrying weight of an unladen swallow?
I actually most prefer like just people if they just come up to my windows in the middle of the night and just slowly crack it open and just start talking to me.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Especially if you're wearing really reflective goggles, so all we can see is just like these like glowing orbs.
That's
perfect.
Oh yeah, like what's that TV show? Haunting of Bly Manor.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Guy with
with
the creepy
ghost in the
goggle. That's
background.
what you just made me picture. Ugh.
Wait,
Now
remember
I'll have nightmares.
remember the person in the basement? Perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Anyways, guys. Hopefully you still like us. And I just hope you all keep an eye out for the mole children. They really need our help.
Yeah.
And Trump
Mhm.
Trump needs to be president again, guys, if we want to save them. No one else is
Yeah.
capable of saving them.
No.
Um
No.
and if you're a
He
liberal
is-
and you're listening, I just want you guys to stop sucking children's blood, okay? Like if you're a Democrat I know what you're up to. Okay, I know what you're
And
up to.
if you are gonna suck children's blood, just suck your own children's blood, okay? It's better than finding other people.
If you're gonna suck children's blood, just make sure they're Democrat children. Just don't touch the Republican children. Anyways,
oh man.
my goodness.
so I'll be sending my prayers up to the mole children and out. I'll just
You mean down?
yeah
to the
down
mole
to the mole children.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could hear us in the underground
Yeah.
tunnels.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
man.
shouting down into the sewer. Anyways, guys, yeah, like and subscribe.
Find us on Instagram, Dilemma Dudes Pod.
Mhm.
Find Yikes Comedy on Instagram and Facebook. And you can find me if you want to DM me about mole children. I look like a mole child right now, so you can find me at boywonder_3 on Instagram.
And if you want to ever talk about conspiracy theories, I'd be so down anytime. My Instagram is n_Hollinshead, so hit me up.
My Instagram's just novidxd, and if you're a mole children, a mole child, hit me up. I kind of wanna take you to amusement park. See how you.
I want
want
to suck your blood because obviously it's so powerful.
Apparently.
Anyways, guys,
All right.
thank
All
you
right.
for listening. And if you take our advice or you find anything about mole children, please let us know. Although we recommend you don't ever take our advice. That's just a horrible thing.
But if you do, tell us how it
Yeah,
goes.
please tell us how it goes.
See you guys.